Hi folks, Jacob here. Hope all of you are having a good one. The new season of Blood Bowl is here, and I'm excited. I love Blood Bowl. Win or lose, I just have fun playing the game. It's like chess, dice, and D&D with an American football wrapping. There's 27 official teams, one team of legends, and one NAF-approved team as of writing the script. So many teams to paint, and I want to paint and play them all. So with this large project planned, we are looking at the first full team I'll be painting, the Lizardmen, the walking dinosaurs that roar and punch while the tiny lizards skitter about and get into tricky places. Planning this team took some time, a few trials and errors, but I landed on the Tiger Raptor scheme after I saw a video of a raptor bust being painted in the same scheme. I liked the look, took some notes, and got to figuring out how to make this Jurassic Park themed team to work. One of my favorite sayings is, steal like an artist, which means take what you learn from others and make it your own. So here's the plan. The base would be a brick-style Aztec base, as that I'm giving to my Lusterian teams. Uses mini bricks glued to a base, painted up, and some Tufts applied to make it look overgrown. For the Lizardmen, I needed a light base to work from, so a Zenithal Prime would help. Orange being paint for the base layer on the upper half, yellow to fade in transition, a brown wash to add depth and look more organic, an off-white for the underside that would get hit with a black wash, black stripes for the tiger stripe effect, a red wash over the upper half, gold for the accents, and a light bright green to tie into the 90s Jurassic Park theme. As usual, we'll go into detail when we get to those steps and the in-depth part of how I painted them. All paints used will be listed in the description below. For starters, the bases were made with some mini bricks glued onto the right-sized bases. I used simple white glue to stick them on. It adds depth to the mini and fun details to make it feel like the mini is part of its world. After the bases were ready, I glued the minis onto the bases and got them ready for priming. I did a matte black primer of the minis. This helps me darken the recesses of the minis and gives a layer for the paint to stick to the mini. I generally do my priming with an airbrush and do it in sessions with other projects on my table. I know people aren't a fan of airbrushes, but I like it for being able to prime whenever and able to get nice even base coats to work with. Next, I came in with a gray primer to make a zenithal prime. This helps lines the high points and will help with the lighter paints I will be using on the Mini. This will probably get covered for the most part, but this is still a good tool to have so as to figure out what needs to be dark and what needs to be light. Next, I came in with a thinned down matte white and applied it like a wash over the Mini. Since I know I'd be using speed paints, I knew I needed to line up the areas more so as to help the speed paint brine up the Mini in the places it got put on. Speed paint is pretty good on its own, creating depth and speeding up the painting process, but I wasn't doing all speed paints, just using tools to help me get to the final product. I used Fire Giant Orange on the upper half of the minis. This would help give me the orange base for the look I was after, and would help darken the nooks and crannies that were on the minis. It had a little spillover, but it was something I could fix later on when I painted the spillover areas. Next was Daemonic Yellow, and I used this on the middle ground between the upper and lower halves of the minis, the eye sockets, and the yellow details of the uniform. I'll have to come in later with more Demonic Yellow to touch up the uniform, but for now, it was good to get it placed. The lightness of the yellow actually helped blend the two areas between the halves, so I didn't do more than a couple layers. I then thinned down some Bootstrap Brown into a wash and applied it over the orange sections to darken the orange. I was aiming for the organic look like in the movie. I assumed it was because of the scales of the dinos that had a brownish look to the orange. I did come in with a napkin for the Croxagore because I applied it a little too thick, so try to soup up the some of the brown wash that was a little excessive. And then came in with skeleton bone for the underside. I wanted a light neutral color to work with, something you would see on many reptiles. I had plans to darken and dirty it up, but this shade worked for what I was aiming for. Hi folks, Jacob here with a quick break. Hope you have been enjoying the video. Just wanted to give a reminder to subscribe to the channel if you like the content you are seeing and want to see more. Hitting the like button and dropping a comment also helps out with getting more content out. You can also find me on Blue Sky, Twitch, and Instagram as the Green Danger Noodle, and I do gaming content as well on YouTube as the Green Danger Noodle Gaming. Links for all the sites are in the description. Now let's get back to the video. I then came in with a dark tone wash and applied it over the underside to darken and dirty it up, as if it was aged and seen the roughness of the world. This continued to help give an organic living creature look that I was after. I then came back with matte black and applied black stripes to the back of the Lizardmen from snoot tip to tail end. I tried my best to randomize the amount of stripes and how the stripes look so no two minis look the same, and give some more difference to the minis. Also applied a black line to the eyes, trying to practice painting eyes on my minis. Next was a red wash that I applied over the top half of the minis. This added a twinge that helped the colors blend a bit together, as if they are natural scales. Again, I was aiming for the organic, alive look for these minis. I came in with greedy gold for the jewelry, rings, bands, face guards, horns, shoulder covers, and anything that was a clearly metallic look and made for the Lizardmen. Finally, I used Rainforest on the uniforms of the minis. Almost all the minis had pants, and a couple had gloves that were painted with this color. It was a thin paint, so it took a few layers to get the right coverage I was looking for. It was also at this time I did the touch-ups with the Daemonic Yellow to get the team colors cemented. Next, we move on to the base. I start with a layer of leather brown to help dirty up the bricks and the crooks and bits between the bricks. This would also help clean up the base from paint that might have dripped onto it or been flicked onto it. I then came in with Paratrooper Brown with a dry brush and did a brushing over the tops of the bricks. This lined the dirt and led to the tops of the bricks being probably brighter from the lack of debris. A transition line, if you will. For the highest points of the bricks, I did a dry brushing of urban buff. This lightest color would help the brick shine, while also having some dirtiness that would have been brushed off from the path being worn down. Soft tone wash was brought in and applied between the bricks. This helped add a little more grime and some detail so the bricks didn't look so flat. Next, jungle tufts are added for a spot of color and to make the base stand out, to make it feel like a living place that the mini is standing on. With the white glue, I glued down spots where I wanted the tufts and then grabbed a few tufts to be placed onto those spots. Finally, we are down to the last touch, rimming the base. Now, the NAF has a color scheme for different positionals to help identify what piece is what. Red for danger and blitzers, green for blockers, white for throwers, yellow for catchers, gray for linemen, blue for special, orange for star players, and purple for journeymen. The Croxagore got a red rim, the Sorai got green, the Chameleons got yellow, and the Skinks got gray. With that, the team is done and ready for the pitch. I'll varnish the minis later when I do a varnish session, apply the numbers to the bases while the video is rendering, and at some point get magnets under the bases, but for now, they're good to play. I'm happy with how this team came out, and part of me is excited to play them, but I doubt they'll be the first team I play in the new season. I'm already working on the next project that will probably be my team of choice. Still, that is one team done and many more to do. I hope you all enjoyed the video and that you like this content. And if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button so new videos will show up in your feed. If you like this video or this series of videos in particular, hit the like button as it helps the algorithm get the video out there. If you want to talk about today's project, talk about your own projects, or suggest a project for the future of the channel, drop a comment down below. If you want to be notified right away when a video goes live, hit the bell icon so that YouTube can send you a message right away when a video goes live. This has been Jacob. Keep painting and have a good one, folks.